Go live, going live. Going live. You're live! Hello everyone, I'm Santiago, and today I'm gonna be testing God of War Ascension on the RPCS3 emulator. Sorry guys about before, I was going to do it 2 hours ago, but the game didn't launch out of nowhere, so I had to fix it and installed everything from the beginning. And now we're here, back at it to test it. How are you guys doing? Good seeing ya. So, hang on, I'm going to check something super quickly. I'm probably going to hear myself. Okay, we got 4K resolution, wonderful. And let me check if I have the auto subtitles. Apparently not. Great, great. Thanks YouTube. Always doing odd stuff with my videos. Okay, so there are no captions. Sorry about that, guys. I'm doing fine. What about you? Francisco, it's been a while. And we have 36 seconds of latency. Thank you, 4K live stream. That's alright. I mean, the quality is so much better that is not so bad. Alright. So I shared this in the YouTube community. Yo, what's up, man? How's it going, guys? Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, before that, let me show you the settings that we're using. That is super important because, you know, emulators can be pretty finicky with the options. Is this emulator from a PS2 or 3? PS3. This is a PS3 game. PS2, no, it's a different thing. So, which version of RPCS3 we got? It's 0.0.17-12437-770A607V Alpha. So it sounds like a monitor name, but that's alright. Pads, we're using an Xbox Series X controller. It doesn't matter. Just map it like this. It should be the same as a PlayStation controller. Doesn't matter. Just to throw it out there. Lautaro Segovia, todo bien. And then you gotta make your own settings. So the settings for the game that I'm using are this. Just put it like this. This SPU block size is on Mega. In this game you can do it. On GPU, we're using Vulkan. Vulkan works fantastically well. And as you can see, we're using a 1050 Ti. Then resolution 720p is the PS3's native resolution in this game, I think. Frame rate limit to 60 because, you know, going over 60 is not something that happened on the PS3. Resolution scale 100%, which is in this case 720p. Resolution scale threshold is 1 by 1 because when we increase the resolution, the effects are going to scale 1 to 1, at least in this case. This is a specific thing with this game. Then, the shader mode will be asynchronous with shader interpreter, which means that once the shader loads, it'll show up. So yeah, we're using this one. Maybe we use async later to do some testing, but yeah, it is like this. Audio like this. Advanced, we got PPU LLVM precompilation enabled. Some people say that you need to enable accurate RSX reservation access. I don't know, the game still hasn't crashed with these settings for me. Then driver wake up delay between 50 and 200. In my case I put it at 100 and it works fine. VBlank frequency at 60, and that's basically it for the settings. Oh, one other thing I forgot to mention, guys. The patches. So I'm using this. Disable depth of field, disable MLAA, and disable motion blur, so we get better performance and we don't get some of the graphical glitches. So let's launch the game right away. I sold my kidney and bought a laptop. Well, I hope the laptop is good. It better be good if it costs you a kidney. Tengo un 3600X16 de RAM. ¿Cómo funcionará Guns of the Patriots? Debería estar arriba de 20 FPS si la RAM está en dual channel. Congrats. Thanks. ¿Quién crees que gane? ¿Crees que gane Brasil? La verdad que no tengo idea. Yo calculo que Brasil porque tienen fútbol en las venas esos tipos. Well, the setting is pretty complicated. Yeah, I mean, usually emulators have a lot of settings, so I wanted to show you how to make the game work like I am. So yeah, hey Santiago, what was the issue with the game for you today? I don't know, man. I tried to launch it and it didn't launch at all. which was pretty confusing. So I deleted RPCS3, installed all over again. I did a lot of things. I even deleted the display drivers of the 1050 Ti, and that didn't actually, I don't know, didn't make sense. It just happened to not work. So as you can see, guys, it has perfectly rendered graphics. That's because the first time I launched it, it was like a black screen and it started loading the shaders. So that's the good thing about the asynchronous shader compilation. The game won't stutter, you'll just get missing graphics. So we're at the very beginning of the game without music. Sí, ya probé God of War 3. I played God of War 3, yeah. Yeah. Alright, so guys, as you can see, RPCS3 is super CPU dependent. Right here we have 100% CPU usage. So, yeah, I mean, we're looking into the distance. This on the PS3 ran pretty poor as well, but not this bad. So yeah, as you can see, 100% CPU usage, and we get mid-20s standing right here. So that's what I wanted to see first. So we get 24, 25. Now we're going to try something super quickly. We're going for the GPU and put asynchronous. So we'll have a pop-in, but I don't care about pop-in. I just want performance. So we're going to try with only asynchronous shader compilation. So the asynchronous shader compilation will, again, if it doesn't have a shader to show, it will have no assets. So for example, I don't know, Kratos' armor is not in the shader, it's not compiled. You won't see the armor, but once it loads, it will pop up. Usually when it's not the asynchronous shader compilation, you get stutters when something is missing. So that's what I like about this. You start playing and the graphics start popping up. So it's a good one. It's a good option, I think. That's the future of emulation, in my opinion. Also, guys, could you hear the game working, or you only hear me talking? Right now there is no sound on the game, but when the enemy was shouting at Kratos, could you hear it, or it was only me? Will this work better on the 570? I mean, we're CPU bound, so it shouldn't matter at all, but we're going to try it. So we continue the game, and let's see, we've got 24 FPS. Now we're going to have probably the same frame rate. But this game is very okay. Yeah, 23 FPS, the same as before. 22, 23. So we're going to keep playing. It's super inconsistent, so some parts will run amazingly well, some others will be at 20 frames, so keep that in mind. Let's keep going. Alright. I mean, I can still play it, that's pretty crazy. And as you can see now, when the camera changes... Whoa, that happens when the shaders are not compiled. Graphics are missing. Okay, you can hear, awesome. Late, well, welcome back, Hiro. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Before, I couldn't do the live stream because the game was refusing to launch. It was only crashing. But what I'm trying to show you here is, look at the CPU usage. It's all CPU limited. We're 100% CPU. So yeah, if you increase the resolution in this case, it will be fine. We're at native resolution just to prove a point. After we get to the checkpoint, we're going to increase the resolution to 4K probably. Because it doesn't matter, in this case in particular. Because, again, we are CPU limited. Increasing the resolution only puts more load on the GPU, which is what we want in general. So yeah, super inconsistent, but hey, it happens. But yeah, I'm seeing that the graphics in the background are super blurry, which is pretty funny. But yeah, guys, remember, CPU limited. Still pretty interesting to see an emulated PS3 game. I mean, look at this, now we're getting... Well, looking at this wall, we're getting 40 frames. Let's see how long it stays that way. Oh man. It's so inconsistent, but I love that. I mean, it's an emulator. I wasn't expecting much at all. RPCS3 needs at least a processor with 4 cores and 8 threads. Well, this is 4 cores and 8 threads, so this is basically the minimum settings, I would say. So yeah, Clash Royale. What? Why? Why would I? Now as you can see, when we're looking at this wall, we get 60 frames. Okay, the audio is fine. Wonderful. Glad to hear. Let's see if fighting this guy gets good performance. Okay, yeah, still over 20, at least. So, anyway, let's close the game once more, and now we're doing 4K. Why 4K, you might ask? Well, I'm so glad you had that question in your brain. So, we're doing 4K because it doesn't matter in this case. We're only affecting the GPU by increasing the resolution. So, by doing that, we get better graphics, but the same performance, because we're CPU limited. So yeah, that's what we're doing, 4K. 4K resolution. We are, well, I'll put CPU limited. There we go. So yeah, guys, this is one of those games that is not deemed playable. It's deemed in-game by the RPCS3 community. That means that the game can launch, you can play, but it's not perfect. It runs pretty poorly. So it requires a pretty strong CPU. Try The Last of Us. Guys, if you want to see more PS3 games, links in the description. I played Uncharted 1, 2, I played God of War 3. That one runs significantly better than this one. I also played The Last of Us. The Last of Us was below 30 all the time, so that one is pretty not recommended. And what else did I try? Well, I also tried Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots. So yeah. There's a lot of PS3 games I tried already. All right. Let's see how it goes. But yeah, I'll play a little bit like this. If it's too much for the GPU, we're doing 1440. But yeah, Rat Brad is here? No, he cannot be. Okay, and as you can see now, maybe you cannot notice because of the live stream, but Kratos is super high resolution now. I can see the pores of his skin. It's insane. But as you can see, the GPU is still not maxed out, like at all. We're at half the GPU, and we're rendering the game at 4K, so that's pretty crazy. But the CPU is still maxed out, so we get the same numbers as 720p, but we get like 5 times the resolution. No, more, like 10 times the resolution, so the game looks super sharp. And yeah, where can you get mods that don't have viruses? You get them from trustworthy places. Reddit knows all about it. A friend told me. And as you can see, mid-20s still. Well, low 20s, let's be honest. So yeah, as you can probably see, the less stuff there is on the screen, the better it runs. Which is obvious, but I mention it anyways. When I see all this stuff in the screen, it runs at 19 frames. But if I go at the end of the level here, I get 30 frames while fighting, because again, less stuff to render, so easier for the PC to do this job. So yeah, but I'm super impressed how good this game looks, considering it's a PS3 game. I know the PS3 rendered this at 720p, but it holds up so well at 4K. It's kind of insane. It feels like a modern game. Nexus Mods, maybe? Yeah, Nexus Mods is a trustworthy place. 4K runs better than 720. It runs almost the same. So yeah. But I mean, in this case, what I was trying to say, guys, is just play at 4K. Even if you have a 1080p screen, it'll run the same because we're CPU limited. ¿Qué dice Alex Montoya? ¿Todo bien? Todo bien por acá, por suerte. Okay, what now? Do I have to just kill them? I love your intro, always repeated in my free time. Well, glad to hear. Hello everyone, I'm Santiago, and today I'm gonna be testing God of War Ascension on the RPCS3 emulator using the 1050 Ti, and then we're probably showing you the 570 after this, but it will be basically the same. I mean, we're CPU limited. dulce o amargos los mates. Amargo, obviamente. Es la única manera de tomar mate. Si no, no es mate. Si no, no es mate. Como el 1080, idéntico. Acá la resolución no cambia nada. Guys, I was saying in Spanish, someone is asking what about 1080p? 1080p will run the same once more. Why is it? Because again, we are CPU limited. So yeah, I mean, resolution in this case doesn't matter, because the resolution only affects the graphics card. And we are CPU limited. So yeah. And considering how the game runs, I mean, it's super inconsistent even on high-end systems. And I'm pretty surprised that I can actually play the game. ¿Iría mejor con otro procesador? Sí. Esto es todo procesador. So guys, for the people asking, yeah, if you have a faster CPU, it will be a lot better. So if you have, I don't know, an i9 9900K or something like that, as you can see here is rendering the graphics. So it looks like this because the shaders are not compiled. Once it compiles the shaders, boom, you get your graphics back, which is better than having stutters, personal preference of course. You should audition for voice acting. Everyone seemed to like that accent. I don't know if everyone, but I do like my accent, despite not being perfectly suitable for all audiences. Okay, I think the game crashed. Yeah. It absolutely crashed. Oh no. I crashed the emulator. I have to increase the VBlank thing. The VBlank frequency to 200, I think. Yeah, the game totally crashed. That's fine. That's fine. We're going to be okay, guys. We're going to be fine. Yeah, it completely died. Let's close the... Yeah, the emulator just was reduced to atoms. So let's try one change. So let's change one thing. We're going to do the advanced settings. Driver wake up delay. To avoid crashes, you usually need to increase it. So the people that play this game on a regular basis on this emulator say that you need between 50 and 200. 200 in the worst case scenario, so we're going to go directly to 200. And on the GPU side, we're going back with asynchronous shader compilation, but with shader interpreter. So there's something on the screen while there's a missing asset. So yeah, and we're still at 4K because, you know, 4K runs just fine. Again, we are CPU limited, so resolution doesn't matter. So yeah, ¿qué tal iría con un Ryzen 5 2600X? Y yo diría que casi idéntico por el tema del mononúcleo. Some people are asking about the Ryzen 5 2600X. It should run, I would say, almost the same as this due to the single-threaded performance. But maybe it's a little bit better due to the extra threads, but I wouldn't expect a huge difference. It should be similar, I would say. And if you have a Ryzen 3 3100, it will be basically the same. So yeah. As long as you have a Ryzen 3000 series, Ryzen 5 3000 series, you should have a better experience than what I show you here. But if you have a Ryzen 5 2000 series or lower, well, you're going to have like this, similar to this, or below. So yeah. ¿Crees que un Ryzen 2700X lo corra decentemente? Justo estaba hablando de eso. Mira, yo creo que va a ir un poco más lento en el 2700X por el mononúcleo. Así que esperaría resultados parecidos a esto, pero el juego cargaría más rápido. Ryzen 5 3400G and 2600 are not good enough. Yeah, those are Zen 1 Plus. Yeah, Zen Plus. So, yeah, the IPC on those doesn't help for PS3 emulation, unfortunately. That's a big limitation. It doesn't mean it's unplayable. It means that it won't be the same as this. It's probably going to be similar or a little bit worse. Okay, delicious mate out of the way. Delicious mate out of the way. Let's keep going. Hopefully this time it doesn't crash in the same spot. Come on, Kratos, we got this. Hi, chat and Santiago. Hi, BNS. How's it going, man? Glad to see you here. Did your country get the vaccine? Yeah, I got vaccinated today, guys. The second dose. So yeah, I'm pretty happy that I finally got the second one. Yeah. In Uruguay, we're getting those going. So today I didn't do any exercise. They told me to take it easy, so I just made a live stream here with you guys. Very happy to be here. Bro, where can I find the game for free? I cannot provide any links, sorry man. You have to find your own game? That's a word. The game crashed again. Pretty unfortunate. So it seems to be stuck in the same location. What we're going to do now, guys, is first close the emulator. So bye-bye. And we're going to do something else. We're going back into the game, options, and we're going to change what now? What should I change? That's a good one. Let's try driver wake up delay at 50. Maybe. If that doesn't work, we're doing 300. Let's be kind of insane. So we're doing 50. There we go. Done. And let's launch it again. PS3 is not the best way to play this game. I have it on similar experience. Well, on the PS3, as far as I know, it does drop below 30, but I mean, it doesn't drop as often. Does the emulator broke your PC? No, not at all. It's just that this game is pretty unstable. But some people say that the B blank frequency, I think it was. Yeah, I think it was. Oh, and thank you so much to Massimo for becoming also supporter 1.0. Thank you so much for supporting the channel directly with your subscription, with a membership, better said. I hope you enjoyed the icon next to your name and the emojis. I appreciate it a lot, man. And if you speak Spanish, muchas gracias por convertirte en un miembro del canal, que disfrutes los emojis y el icono al lado de tu nombre. Muchísimas gracias. ¿Qué tal corre el 3? De maravillas. Link en la descripción. Guys, if you want to play God of War 3, there's a link in the description for that video. It runs significantly better than this one. So yeah. ¿Qué dice Massimo? ¿Todo bien? Gracias por venir. Alright guys, wish me luck. Hopefully it doesn't crash, but if it does, it's okay. We're going to try more options. The good thing is that we have an SSD, so the game loads fast. I mean, look at how fast we got into the game. That's kind of insane. Alright. Let's try it once more. But as you can see, in reduced places like this one, you get like 30 frames per second. The thing is when you get into a more open area, but this game has a lot of big areas, so yeah, it's not going to be super cool. Most of the time you're going to be below 30 with this CPU. Yeah, and the PS3 is still better, yeah, I mean, makes complete sense, I'd say. It's the console it was made for. Please don't crash, please, no, it crashed again, no. Oh no, we're in trouble. No, it died. Rusty Pepperoni's God of War. Okay, let's try this once more. We're going to go for 300 on the advanced part. The driver wake up delay, let's put it at 400. Yeah, let's go insane. Oh, I forgot about the accurate RSX reservation access. My bad. Let's try accurate RSX reservation access. Some people told me that this helps quite a bit with crashes. So let's add that to the list. We're going to put accurate RSX reservation access on. What a long string of text. Anyway, let's get back into the game now. Hopefully now we can actually play the dang thing. Hopefully. Wish me luck. It seems to be that option. Yeah, it doesn't seem that option. That section. If that happens again, we're restarting the save file from the beginning, so you guys can see some more gameplay, at least. So yeah, and to the people asking, this is yerba mate. It's a drink from my country. It's like drinking tea, but with more taste and more bitter. You can look it up. Look up Uruguay mate, like that, Uruguay mate, and you'll find it. Rest in pizza. Yeah, literally. Is there a crash log? Yeah, there probably is, but I don't understand it, so... It doesn't change much for me. We'll see. But yeah, usually when I get an issue I cannot circumvent, I send the report with the log file and all that. But I don't understand the contents of the log file. That's kind of the problem. Does any emulator need a good CPU or only a good GPU? It depends on the emulator. In general, most emulators are CPU dependent, but there are a few that are pretty good with GPU. CMU, for example, is pretty good with the GPU nowadays, so you need both. Do you like the straw? Yeah, it's a metal straw, so we're badass. Yeah, in Brazil it's called chimarrão, yeah. Chimarrão. Yeah, the same drink in Brazil is called differently, but it's the same thing, I would say. Yeah, the RPCS3 is a CPU killer, hell yeah. Hell yeah it is. That's kind of the point, I think. Okay guys, wish me luck, here we go. Come on Kratos, you got this. We're circumventing this crash, come on Kratos. Here we go. ¿Qué dice Cristian? ¿Todo bien? Please don't crash, please. Come on Kratos, you got the... It crashed. No! Oh no! We're screwed. Yeah, we're screwed. What I'm going to do, guys, is reboot the computer first of all. So we're rebooting just to... I mean, this is in the same location over and over. But we're going to reboot, and after that we're doing the beginning of the game. I cannot progress further, but there's probably something on the internet that explains you how to circumvent it. So yeah, la resolución está a 4K. Sí, exacto. It has caffeine. Yeah, it does. It does have something like that. Yeah, something like that is going on there. I'm from Uruguay, yeah, Uruguay. A country between Argentina and Brazil. Hell yeah. Alright, so back into the options. What we're doing now. Okay, we're keeping this the same. We're going to the advanced options. We're going to keep the driver wake up delay to 250, so we're not too high or not too low. So 250. We keep this just in case, and the debug console mode just in case. We'll see if that works. That sometimes solves problems for me. Finally, after so long, Santiago is live. Yeah, here I am. Hello guys, I missed you all. Yeah, the game wasn't launching. Now it's crashing, but I mean, that's something. At least I can move the character around a little bit. So yeah, ¿podría ser la resolución? Podría. Tendría que fijarme. Tendría que deshabilitar eso para probar. Vamos a probarlo en breve. Vamos a poco. Yeah guys, I'm going to try multiple settings, and if it still crashes, we're going to start it from the beginning. Maybe we have a way to circumvent it, I don't know. Have you ever been to the US? No, unfortunately I haven't. The most far away place I went in my life was Spain. I've been there like, wow, 21 years ago. I feel old already. I was like 5 years old. And but yeah, I never had a chance to visit the US. I only visited Spain, Brazil, and Argentina, and Paraguay. Those are the only places. Why is the renderer set to Vulkan and you have a 1050 Ti? Vulkan in general on RPCS3 works better for me. I don't know. We might try OpenGL. We'll see. Vulkan in general gives me better results. And now I think it even crashes in the startup, so the debug mode was a bad idea. So we get out of it. Good. So very quickly I'm going to... Okay. Alright. Let's give it another shot. Now we're only keeping it with the recommended settings from the RPCS3 community. And we'll see what happens. But it's not looking good for God of War Ascension. It's not looking good. AMD Ryzen 5 1600AF is Zen 2. Yeah, it's like a 2600. So in this case, considering the workload we have, which is this emulator, you're going to get similar numbers or a little bit worse due to the lower single-threaded performance. But in general, should be playable. I would say. In some parts are going to be below 20 though, so this is a game that is not considered playable by the community, so it's one of those games that is super CPU dependent. Tomando un chimarrao. It's called mate in Uruguay. Chimarrao. You still have the 2060? At the moment, no. I had to sell it. But soon enough, I'm going to have it again. Once the economy recovers, I'm going to get it again. Alright, wish me luck. You really need a decent income to get a tourist visa to the US. Yeah, it's like $100. And it takes like half a year to get it. Okay, we're back into the game. Good. Now the VBlank frequency is at 250, which hopefully is enough for the game to not crash. We'll see. Hang on, I think there is no sound on the game. Oh, yeah, there's not. Alright, let's fix it. Thank you, capture card, for all you do for us. I wouldn't be here without you. Oh yeah, of course. There we go. There we go. Okay, we have no audio for now because the emulator picked the wrong device. So we'll see if it crashes here, and if it does crash, we're fixing the audio. Okay, moment of truth. Cross your fingers, your toes as well. Yeah, no. It crashes in the same spot over and over. Let me see if I can see the error message. So let's see, what's the error message? Fatal error, assertion failed, Vulkan API called with unrecoverable error. Oh, out of VRAM, look at that! That was the issue. Okay, see guys, we have to read the log files. There's not enough VRAM. Okay, we're doing 1080p then. So interesting, look at that. But the VRAM is at 2.6, so what the hell? What an interesting message though, I wasn't expecting that. Let me check super quickly on Afterburner. Let's see if we can find the VRAM usage across all these tests. But that's so interesting. Wow. Wasn't expecting the VRAM to be an issue in an emulator. So, hang on. Let's check the VRAM usage. VRAM. There we go. I think. Yeah, here. Look at these guys. See the VRAM usage? It was at 2.6, but when the game crashed, it spiked to 3.9, so we don't have enough video memory to do 4K on this game. Sorry. So we're doing 1080p. That should decrease the VRAM usage significantly. So yeah, do not do 4K on this emulator on this game. Lesson learned, not enough VRAM for 4K on RPCS3 on this game. So yeah, let's just do 1080. Let's be real here. We don't have enough video memory, which is interesting. It's the first time I run into this problem in this emulator. And the driver wake up delay, we keep it at 200. Let's play it safe. So let me show you the options once more. Keep it like this. Mega SPU block size. GPU, well, here it is. 1080p 1:1 on the resolution scale threshold. In this game you need it for the effects to look correct. Then nothing here. Asynchronous with shader interpreter for the shader mode. Audio, keep it like this as default. Advanced, we keep this enabled. Driver wake up delay to 200. VBlank frequency 60. Clock scale 100%. And that's basically it. I also enabled a performance overlay. But that was so interesting, never run out of VRAM on an emulator. This is the first time it happened. So let's go. I'm pretty confident now that we can do it. Good thing someone told me to read the logs. Thank you, person that told me to read the logs. Thank you. Let's drink some mate in the meantime. Let's be Uruguayan. When you're 60 probably. What do you mean 60? ROM plugin? What do you mean? That was actually kind of obvious. No, yeah, it was pretty obvious in the log files. Usually log files don't tell you much. But on this one it was like, hey man, there's not enough video memory, do something. And boom, crashed. So we're seeing 4K but CPU limited. Yeah, I mean, that's what happened. We're CPU limited. But we're doing 1080p now because CPU limited, so it doesn't matter. But considering the amount of video memory that was required at 4K, when we got to that section, you need to decrease the resolution. It will run the same, but we won't crash, hopefully. Hi from Greece. Hi from Uruguay, mister. Welcome back. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, thanks, Brandyberry14. I appreciate that. You saved my back part that does not get sun. Thank you for that. It's appreciated.
We're all innocent. Shut your hole.
You saved my life, mister. Thank you. But yeah, I never saw a PS3 game using so much video memory with the emulator. The first time I saw this, like, ever. Why are the emulators so CPU hungry? Because that's how emulators work. That's basically my response to you, man. Okay, and as you can see, just like at 4K, we drop into the 20s. Let's see the spike in VRAM usage. So here we're going to jump from 1.5 gigabytes to... Yeah, look at that. We jump from 1.5 gigabytes to 2.1. So as you could see there, was like... Yeah, like 25% more VRAM usage just by getting here. So that's pretty interesting. So that was the issue, the VRAM. That's super interesting to see seeing that work in real time. That's so cool. Okay, so this, when I break this weapon, it'll stop. Okay, it'll just break. Interesting. So weapons that can be broken. Gotcha. I can maybe get away with doing 1440p on this one. Ah, wrong audio plugin. No, it's back up. It was the wrong audio device on Windows. It was set to my headphones. Oh man, I'm getting my ass kicked. Hang on. I'm going to use the other weapon. But as you can see here, we're not looking into the distance, so we are more close to 30. So yeah, it's inconsistent AF. Let's leave it at that. So yeah, come on, blah, dead. As you can see when the camera pans to that place, to places where nothing happens. Whoa, that happens when you do shader compilation. As you can see, when you don't have the shaders, it does this. So hang on, it's compiling the shaders. Come on, shaders. I know you can do it. But as I was saying, when you're looking into the distance and there is more stuff being rendered, well, you drop into the mid-15 FPS range. Mid-15, mid-teens. Back part equals life. Yeah, especially because you poop through there. Yeah, I mean, super CPU demanding, like the RPCS3 webpage told us.
We will see how
and as you can see here, when you see less stuff on the screen, 60 frames. Like, it's nothing. Yeah, 1440p is probably going to do it, yeah. Okay, this is a cutscene, so it doesn't count. Let's skip the cutscene. Oh man. That performance though. But yeah, I would do 1440p I think. On this one. With this GPU at least. Although here is not as bad as before, but since we're looking at different stuff along this battle, it's going to be super inconsistent, because we're looking at that fortress in the background, but then we look at the sky and there's nothing to render, so we get 30 frames. So yeah, it's a difficult level, let's leave it at that. Difficult level to run. Is it playable? That's up to you. I mean, when I was like 10 years old, 10 FPS was fine, so I would probably have played this game from beginning to end. Está en un SSD. Guys, for the people wondering, this game is on an SSD. Everything is on SSD here, so the shader compilation is faster, yeah. But the game should run the same on a hard drive, so yeah. it shouldn't change much at all in that regard. So yeah, if you have a 5600X, 3600 XT, something like that, yeah, it should be faster, that's for sure. Although I'm not going to say it's playable, because that's impossible to know without trying it. But yeah, the better the CPU, the better it will run. Also guys, remember, this is on alpha, so the emulator still has a long way till it becomes the final version. It gets updated almost every day, so yeah. Single-threaded performance is the name of the game here, in this emulator. So you're not getting... No, there's no way around it. You can have 24 cores, but if the single-threaded performance isn't, like, great, you're not going to get good numbers here. Let's leave it at that. It's more 60-ish on 720p? No, it's going to be the same. We're CPU limited. Doesn't matter if we're at 1080p, 720p. The game crashed before because we were at 4K, and 4K was too much video memory for the GPU to handle. But it doesn't really matter, the resolution in this case. Greetings from Ukraine, good luck. Thank you, Demi Craw, it's appreciated. Yeah, I need luck to be able to keep playing this game without brain damage at the end. But my brain is adjusting pretty well to 20 FPS at the moment. I'm pretty impressed that my brain can do it. Pero disculpa, pero no puedo dar esa información. Un i5 de décima con una 2060 lo correría sin problema. Debería correr mucho mejor, pero sin problema no sabría decirte. Have you played Dead or Alive 5 on the PS3 emulator? Isn't that game on the PC already? Or I'm forgetting about something? As far as I know, Dead or Alive is on PC already. Hi Santiago, nice stream. Well, thanks, SciTech33. Thank you so much, man. How you doing? You're always here watching. Glad to have you. Okay. Are you dead yet? Come on, Kratos, we got him. Although, still, considering it wasn't one of the most demanding games on this emulator, I'm pretty impressed. Considering this is only an i3. I know, 4 cores, 8 threads is one of the top-notch i3s. But still, oh, look at that. Look at that family-friendly content. But look at that, the entire level is being rendered now. 10 FPS. Yeah, still lags like hell, but it's an improvement. It used to run much worse than this. Oh no, 14 FPS. My PC gamer, sad PC gamer noises. Hola, Blue Lack, ¿cómo andas? Con números de aquí para allá. ¿Todo bien? Oh man. All those camera changes. My brain cannot take it. Or can't it? Okay. I think we're going to be better in this close environment. Why is the aura of the blade white? Because the shader compilation, I think. Sorry. But as you can see here, we're looking at nothing. There's some graphical artifacts around Kratos, as you can probably notice. Kratos has some edges around him. Probably a bug. That's fine. Let's keep going. But as you can see, when nothing is happening, we get 60 frames. So yeah, emulation. Oh. A record from the Scribed, whatever the name is. The Fury Queen's son entered the world at this night. Okay, good to know. Where to now? Jump. Oh, let's jump. And I get to attach myself to this wall. Okay, now we're playing Uncharted. Uncharted. Among Gods. Qué experiencia tan cinemática, sí, literal. Nunca tuve una experiencia tan cinemática. Someone in Spanish is saying, whoa, what a cinematic experience. Hell yeah, this is the most cinematic experience I've ever had. Nothing beats this cinematic experience.
My sisters are too kind.
Is the CPU making the FPS so low? Yeah, it is. But it makes sense. I mean, the emulator is CPU dependent. And this is one of the most intensive games that you can play. So it was kinda to be expected. ¿Qué contás, Santiago? ¿Todo tranqui? Sí, Ape, man, ¿todo bien? Por acá todo bárbaro, por suerte. Me dieron la segunda dosis hoy, estoy tranca. Acá jugando God of War a 15 FPS. Would this run better on a Core i5 10400 on 10600K? Hell yeah. Yeah. You have more cores, single-threaded performance should be higher. You should be okay, all around, it should be better. Although I cannot tell you, hey, it will be 30 frames all the time. No, that will be a lie because I do not know. But it will be better than this, that's for sure. It will be faster, especially the 10600K, since you can overclock it. So that should improve things significantly, doing an overclock. Do you have your RAM on dual channel? I do. Oh, you're asking somebody else. Yeah, make sure to have dual channel. Dual channel on the RAM, super important to get good performance. So make sure you have 2 sticks at least. I bought another 8 GB of RAM and now I'm running dual channel and I got huge performance improvement. Hell yeah, that's how it's done, man. Happy to hear that you got a better experience now. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people do not know that you need to have your RAM on dual channel for your CPU to be utilized completely, to say it in some way. Yeah, the memory bandwidth difference is out of this world. So I'm super disappointed that most OEMs put single channel. I mean, only 1 stick of RAM. And then people complain about performance. Of course, I mean, you're not taking advantage of your CPU. You're using your RAM with very little memory bandwidth. What's the point? So yeah, a lot of people usually solve their issues by getting dual channel. So if you haven't already, make sure that your RAM is running on dual channel configuration and it should be okay. So it's a complete must, no way around it, especially when you're CPU limited. In all cases it will help, but especially while CPU limited, because the RAM and the CPU talk to each other all the time. Okay, I think the game crashed again. Oh no, the game crashed again. Let's see if it was the video memory this time. Okay, no, it was an issue with the driver. Device lost. So this has to do with the VLAN frequency, I'm pretty sure. So we're going to increase it to 250 or 300. But at least we were able to progress further into the game, which is a good thing. So this is a thing that happens to everyone when playing this game. So let me tell you super quickly what's up with that. So it said that it lost the device, so the driver crashed, basically. It happens in some applications. So that means usually that the driver wake up delay needs to be increased. So, oh man, I hate the magnifying glass in Windows. Stay here, for crying out loud. So driver wake up delay. In the wiki for this game they say between 50 and 200. I've been trying between 50 and 200 and still got crashes, so we're going to try 300. Let's try 400, let's go all the way in. That's what he said, sorry. And she as well. So let's go. Santiago, only in the US pre-builds are decent deals. All the rest never skip dual RAM for other parts. Okay. Thanks for letting me know. It kind of makes sense. I mean, they're trying to make a profit, so they save money on everything that they can. So instead of putting 2 sticks, they put 1, so it's cheaper. 5950X must be a beast in RPCS3. Yeah, it should. It should. Yeah, I mean, it's going to cost more to add another stick of RAM. That's what I'm trying to say. But the thing with that is, yeah, you say, oh man, but it's so little money. Yeah, but if you're selling stuff in a big number of units, I don't know, $2 a difference is a lot of money. So I understand that choice, but at the same time, it's pretty annoying that we have to do that. I got 8 to 14 FPS on God of War 3 on Ryzen 3 1200. Well, it makes sense. Only 4 cores and 4 threads. Single-threaded performance is pretty low on that one. So yeah, it makes sense that you get that performance. Okay, we're back. Hopefully now we don't crash. But at least we get to play the game more, so I'm super interested in that front, at least. I get to play more God of War. ¿Tan lindos esos mates o ya están detonados? ¿Cómo? No entiendo. No 1650 Super? No, I mean, in this case it wouldn't make a difference. We are CPU limited. We're doing the 570 probably, or the 1650 non-super. We'll see. But GPU here doesn't really matter that much. ¿Tenés tienda de Dell o HP en Uruguay? Son precios de miedo las prioridades de Latinoamérica. Sí, tenemos y son carísimas, sí. Ni me hagas acordar, que me pongo de mal humor. Okay, I found a stone. Good. Just like my... like in my body. No, there are no stones. At least not that I know about. Let's see, please don't crash. FSR for RPCS3, please. No, that wouldn't make a difference because that's on the GPU side. What we need for RPCS3 is better CPU optimizations. That comes with time. So as time goes on, it will improve. No doubts about it. I mean, a few years ago, this was impossible. Okay, Kratos is now walking. So, okay, this reminds me of the scene in Metal Gear Solid 3 where where Solid Snake is climbing a ladder for a couple minutes, just a straight minute of music and climbing a ladder. It reminds me of that. And thank you so much, Sahendra Malik, for the 20 Indian rupees donation. How are you doing, man? You changed your profile picture. That's pretty cute. How are you doing, man? You're always here. Thank you for being here. Okay, that's a shader compilation bug. It's fine. Thank you so much, man. What stones now? None. Don't pay attention. I'm being stupid. Like usual. Don't worry. You've been on the channel for a while, so you know what I'm talking about. ¿Sos uruguayo? Sí, sabelo. Soy Uruguay. La República Oriental del Uruguay. No, no stones. I'm kidding. I'm just very dark humor person, so that's kinda not adequate for a family-friendly channel such as mine. I saw a Dell machine on Amazon that was so overpriced. It had 64 GB of RAM with an i7-10 700 and a 1660. I reconfigured that build and got it cheaper than theirs with better parts. Well, good. You have knowledge. That's the valuable part. You have Twitter? I do not use it, really. Ah, that's so cool. Kratos is such a badass. He knows when they're going to spin the room around, so he jumps. I think crash from high FPS. No, it's a crash because driver wake up delay was too low. And this game has that issue in general. So yeah guys, as you can see, we're at 10 to 30 frames, well 10 to 60 better said, but most of the time we're at 15 FPS, especially when looking into the distance. So yeah, Santiago looks super healthy. If he had stones I would be shocked. Well, stones can happen with a lot of stress, so it can happen to anyone at any time really. Pensé que eras de Argentina. Bueno, anduviste cerca. Unos cientos de kilómetros le erraste, pero no pasa nada. Te perdono. ¿Qué GPU se recomienda para este título? Un CPU rápido necesitas, no un GPU. GPU no importa tanto. Okay. Let's grab them. There you go. Die! Guys, also forgot to mention, I'm trying to get to a less demanding area. There's a little bit of that. So I don't know if after this the game is going to get into a less taxing environment. But maybe this is only a one-time thing and the rest of the game doesn't have big set pieces like this one. I have no idea. So I'm just trying to play a little bit to see how it runs. And overall, when looking into the distance like this, it's like 10 FPS. And when in a smaller environment we get 20 to 30, and in a place where nothing happens we get 60s. Okay, there's a frozen arm in place there. Not sure what that's all about, and I think I died. Yeah, I screwed up. Use L1 and circle to discard world weapons. Yeah, that doesn't matter in this case. ¿El SSD es SATA o NVMe? Sabes que es un NVMe, pero es un NVMe lento. Oh, whoa. Okay, that was a shader compilation bug. Okay, we flew out of the problems. Good, that's how I get away from my issues. I just slingshot out of them and pretend they do not exist. Thanks, no problem, I think. ¿Mononúcleo o muchos núcleos? Ambos precisas. Por lo menos 8 hilos, diría yo. So guys, here I have a good example of how the game runs. So while looking into the distance like this, you get mid-20s. In the worst case scenario, you get 15. But then when the camera goes closer to Kratos, like this, you get over 30 frames. So it depends on what's going on in the screen. So it's super variable. Let's leave it at that. No atajaste ninguno contra Colombia. Y es que yo no estaba. No entendés, Bruno. Yo no estaba. Si hubiera estado yo no pasaba eso. Está re quemado el tipo. Okay, what now? Hang on. Gotta grab the weapon. Oh, I think I know what happens here. Hang on. Before doing that, let's go to the other arm. Please convert currencies to dollars to better understand your prices and country. Oh yeah. Yeah guys, if you are going to discuss pricing, try to convert it to US dollars. It makes it easier for us to discuss when we're talking about pricing. In general, that's a better way to understand how pricing in countries works. In my country, for example, I'll leave it with that. GPUs are super expensive, like in the entire world. But here, like a 1660 Super is like $500 to $600 here, brand new. In the used market as well. Also guys, as you could see there, I was like 13 FPS. That was because I was getting a look into the distance, so a lot of stuff being rendered at the same time. So that doesn't help the CPU. As you can see there, where nothing happens, we get 60s, then back to 20. So yeah, it's super variable. Super variable. But again, if you want to play the game and you only want to play this game and whatever, you can get away with it, I think. So yeah, I mean, remember guys, we're CPU limited, we are using an emulator, so all the odds are not in our favor. We are in the worst case scenario type of thing. Let's control him. I remember playing this on the PS3 when I was a kid. It was so much fun. I also remember that it had multiplayer. Yeah, it had multiplayer and I was terrible at it, but I still had a lot of fun. Acá en Uruguay están vendiendo las 580 dólares más cara que la 2060. Y bueno, si las compran, sabelo. ¿Sabes cómo? Lucky jump. Yeah. No better word for it, the gamer coins. What do you mean by gamer coins? I cannot buy anything with gamer coins. Okay, that's family friendly content. Sorry man, not personal. One thing that an SSD will do is remove the heavy loads of your mechanical storage. Yeah, true. I mean, due to the fact that I'm using an SSD with this emulator and the game, means that the shaders load faster, so should be the best experience with a lower-end PC using an SSD, because the shaders load significantly faster with the SSD. Oh man, come on Kratos, grab the ladder if you want another go. Come on. Oh man. Please do not fall, Kratos. There we go. Good. Sí, literal. Franork. Literal. Whoa, I screwed up. What now? I'm stuck here? Oh, never mind. There we go. Y muchísimas gracias a Noni Blues por la donación de 20 pesos mexicanos. Se agradece un montón. Preguntas: ¿qué tal funciona el emulador de Play 4? Ahora mismo está en fase muy temprana de desarrollo, no puede correr ningún juego, así que por ahora no funciona, pero se agradece mucho la donación. Muchas gracias. And I'm going to say it in English now. Thanks to Anoni Blues for the 20 Mexican pesos donation. He's asking about the PS4 emulator. Well, there is a PS4 emulator, it's called Orbital, and at the moment it's in very early stages of development, so it doesn't run any commercial games at the moment. But eventually it can, I guess, so we'll see. Only time will tell. But yeah, it exists, but it's super early in development. Super duper early. So yeah, there is a PS4 emulator, don't worry, but it's super early. And it's one person working on it. Probably had low FPS on console. Yeah, it did, but in this case it's running worse than the console, without a doubt. I mean, in the console you are at least over 20 frames. Although on the PS3 I remember they had unlocked frame rates, which was pretty odd. I mean, when it was on a place with nothing happening, sorry, it was like 60 frames, but once you got into a battle like this one, it dropped into the 20s, so it was pretty inconsistent. But it was definitely faster than this. And also, of course, the PS3 runs it at 720p, but in this case it doesn't matter, because if we play at 720p on the emulator, it runs the same, we're CPU bound. Santiago, do you think Kratos paid his taxes? Probably not. I mean, he needs a reason to kill the gods, so if there are no gods, there are no taxes. Big brain. PS4 what games? I mean, no, it cannot run any PS4 games, the PS4 emulator. It cannot run any game at the moment. I think it can go into the firmware. I think it got boot into one firmware, but that's about it. It's super early into development. I imagine the PS4 emulator will make more progress in the long run. Yeah, I mean, makes sense because it's a more normal-ish architecture. It's x86. The PS3 has such a weird architecture with the SPUs and all that. It's interesting how it works, but it was very complicated to build games for it, so imagine doing an emulator around it. If making games was difficult, imagine making an emulator. This is what happens when you don't pay the IRS. That's hilarious. Yeah, you become Kratos. You go kill the gods, so you don't pay taxes. I hate my taxes! But if there's no government, there's no taxes. I think this game is the peak of PS3 graphics. Yeah, and Uncharted 3 as well, but God of War 3 and this one look amazing. I mean, really, those developers knew what they were doing with the PS3 hardware. This is one of those games that still looks amazing today. I mean, it feels like a modern game. I'll play this on a PC at 4K. Well, also, guys, I just thought about something very interesting, very ironic, actually. I'm playing a PS3 game on a PC with an Xbox controller. What the heck? Yeah, it's that's super interesting. Playing a PS3 game on a PC with an Xbox controller. I need to play with a Wii controller next time. It will be even weirder. So ironic, I love it. Okay, X. I'm trying not to fail any quick time events, so 1 second, guys. The Last of Us is the best looking PS3 game in my opinion. Well, yeah, it looks pretty good. But this one is a different kind of looking good. This feels more cartoonish than The Last of Us. More cartoonish, trying to have a good visuals, to say it in some way. I'm not saying this game is cartoonish, it's more cartoonish, but The Last of Us tries to be a little bit more realistic looking. What the hell happened? Kratos fell through the ground. What the hell happened there? I think that was not supposed to happen. We'll see. The definition of crossplay. Oh boy, then a Wiimote with PS Move. Oh man, that would be so awesome. Imagine playing Resident Evil 4 with the Wii version with a Wiimote on PC. That would be great. I use a Nintendo Switch controller. Yeah, that's the last one I need to do. Emulating the Switch instead of an Xbox Series S with a PS4 controller. When? Eventually. It is not going to take long. Somebody will figure it out for us. It's a matter of life and death. Microsoft was serious about crossplay. Okay, let's see if this time I can make it work. Right, triangle. And now what? Okay. Circle, good. And now what? I have to press something, I'm sure of it. Body shaders. Okay, it's dead. Reduced to atoms. What now? Yeah, I had to press a button, but I'm not doing it. It doesn't show the button that I have to press. What the hell? Yeah, I fall through the ground. Okay. I fall through the ground literally. Not sure if that's supposed to happen. Hang on, I'm going to enable the tutorial buttons. But before that, let's swap GPUs. So, just to show you that it doesn't matter which GPU we're using. But let's go with facts. So yeah. Hang on. Give me 1 minute. I'm not going to show you my room, it's a mess. So 1 second, going to swap GPUs. So let's put the 570 in. Let's go red team. Code red. Hang on. Sorry guys, someone needed something. Bad moment to need something from me. I'm busy. But that's fine. I'm not super angry or something. Okay, we're good. We good. In the meantime, let's read chat. The end of the playthrough. Yeah, I mean, the game probably ends there, right? That's the end of the game. We got to the credits. And that's the end. Kratos dies. The end. It could be a physics bug. Happens when the frame rate is low. Okay, makes sense. Makes complete sense, I'm guessing. Okay, now we got the 570 going. Which again, shouldn't make any difference whatsoever. But maybe, who knows, maybe we're lucky. Also, I forgot to change the color range. We should be getting full RGB, not limited. I noticed that with my eyes because I'm looking at the screen the whole day. Okay, come on. There we go. Now the colors are actually correct. Let's go to RPCS3. I forgot something though. GPU scaling, okay, that's working. Graphics, okay, everything is as it should be. Good. So, let's show you again the configuration very quickly for the people that are watching this when I'm not live. CPU like this, GPU like this, and we get 1080p. And this is for the effects to scale properly. Whoa. Then we get shader interpreter with asynchronous shader mode. Audio like this, advanced like this. The driver wake up delay is at 400 because crashes, but if you can put it at 300, do so. PPU LLVM pre-compilation is on, and just keep it like this, and you should be fine. Then I also have the patches. I'm using this. Disable depth of field, disable MLAA, and disable motion blur to improve performance, basically, and to have an external anti-aliasing solution. So let's get into the game. En el panel de control de NVIDIA no cambias nada. No, la verdad que no. Me parece medio necesario. Solo ajusto el color como en el panel de AMD. Hago lo mismo. Ryzen 5 3600, who knows? Yeah, it should be better than this, but I don't know exactly how much better in this case. I wonder how many FPS it will be on a 3600. Oh, that's what you're asking. Okay. Yeah, I think from my point of view at the moment, I'm guessing a few extra frames. It should be faster because the single-threaded performance should be similar, but you get more cores at the same time, so you should take advantage of it. I'm not telling you, oh, it's the difference between 15 FPS and 30, but it's maybe 4 frames ahead. Who knows? Frame rate drops that bad even though it's only 720p. Yeah, because the emulation is made on the CPU. and then the GPU upscales to a higher resolution. So we're doing 1080p actually, but it doesn't matter because the CPU is the limitation. So yeah, very, very CPU dependent, especially this game. This game is super CPU limited. So yeah, I mean, it was to be expected. But if you never watched a video about an emulator before, especially this one, I understand the questions and I'm happy to answer them. The more people know about emulation, the better. Also guys, if you haven't already, I'm going to paste a link, RPCS3. Visit the RPCS3 webpage and contribute if you want to see more improvements. It gets improved all the time. So hang on, let's see if I can find the Patreon. Okay, so guys, if you want to support the PS3 emulator and the developers, they are doing an amazing job on making this work. I recommend you donate through Patreon. So support the developers, they're doing again an amazing job emulating this on a program on a PC. So link in the chat, that's the link I put there. If you want to support the emulator, boom, there you go. There you go, sorry. 5600X for stable 30+, yeah, probably, yeah, that's a much faster CPU. So guys, again, if you want to support the developers of the emulator, link in the chat, the Patreon link. But yeah, they are doing so much to improve the emulator every day. One game that I need to try next is probably Killzone 2 and 3. Those are games I wanted to play on the emulator for a while. So yeah, as I was saying again, well, the game is going to compile shaders from the very beginning now because we swapped GPUs. But that's alright. It's a way to show you how the game compiles shaders. Oh no, they're already compiled. Never mind then. Okay. Also remember guys, the emulator is completely free. So I'm just sending the Patreon link there. So you guys, if you want to support the developers so they improve the emulator even further, well, there you go. Hi Santiago, sorry if this is a dumb question. It's never a dumb question, trust me. Sorry if this is a dumb question. Would this run better with a 2600X? Unfortunately not. It won't run better. It will run a little bit worse. A little bit worse. It should be worse in general due to the single-threaded performance. It's lower on yours. You have more cores, yeah, but this really screams I need single-threaded performance. So I'm expecting worse numbers, but it should load faster, especially the shader compilation stuff. That should load faster, but you're not going to notice much of a difference there. So in general it should be similar, but a little bit worse. So here I'm getting what, like 20 frames? You should be getting like maybe 16. So it's not a huge difference, but it's not going to be exactly the same. You suffer there due to the single-threaded performance. I'm not saying it's unplayable, I'm just saying it's not the same. So that's a great question actually, it's not a dumb question, all the opposite. Is this game any good? Yeah, I think so. Although I'll play God of War 3, it's way better on the emulator and you get a longer game as well. Let's see if we can now get to the actual solid terrain. Remember guys, this part was running almost the same on the 1050 Ti, over 30 when fighting this monster, sometimes. Pretty unstable. So yeah, let's find out. Do you think it's playable on the i 7th gen and 570? I don't think so. It will be worse than this, that's for sure. You have only 4 cores. This is 4 cores like threads. So we have double the threads on this one and you get less single-threaded performance. So the i5 should be a huge limitation for you. That's what I'm guessing from what I know. So yeah, it's not going to be the same, it will be significantly worse. Please Kratos, land on solid terrain, please. Okay, we did it. We're still alive. Oh no, the game crashed. No, the game crashed. No, it didn't. Ah. Oh man. Okay. We survived. We survived the ending. The good ending. This is the good ending, guys. Not really meaning to play, just curious, but thanks. No worries, man. Happy to answer questions. As long as I can answer the question, I'm happy. Did not realize this game was an emulated game. Yeah. I mean, it's a great game, but at the moment, pretty unstable because emulation. And this is one of the most taxing games on this platform. But it looks amazing, even nowadays. Gotta bounce, it's 3:30 AM here. Okay. Good night, man. Get some sleep. It's necessary. And it feels good, so get some sleep. Do you do display driver install or did just change GPUs? I do display driver install each time before the live stream. Doing one GPU change in between there in real time shouldn't be a big issue. The thing is when a lot of time passes and there are multiple drivers, yeah, in that case it's a problem. But in this case I only change GPUs like once or twice, so it's not a big issue. But to control that factor I run DDU before the live stream, yeah.
Meet your end.
So as you can see again, when there's a lot of detail into the distance, like right now, into the screen, better said, we get the same issues as on the 1050 Ti. We get drops below 20 frames. I remember this part. I had to get the machine stuck by getting bodies into it. Kratos being a gentleman. 23:14 in the UK, gang. Hey, that's nice. That's a great time to be awake. It's almost time to sleep, so happy times. Here is 7:15 PM, so 19:15. The performance difference between Pascal and Turing was pretty incremental, so I think it's justified for people to wait second gen RTX card. Yeah, kinda makes sense. You never know. You never know what's going to come up. And now that we're looking at the wall, we get better performance. And now looking to the distance, like 15 FPS, so yeah. Okay, more monsters into the gears. Come on, more monsters into the gears. Come on, Kratos, you got this. Yeah, and the CPU is just screaming in pain at the moment. You probably cannot hear it due to RTX voice doing its job, but the CPU cooler is going like 100%. It's screaming. I'm lucky it's not too late here. Yeah, usually when I stream, in your country it should be pretty early, so yeah. It's pretty odd that I'm streaming this late, but it was because I got my vaccine today, so I got later into the live stream. And also the game didn't run the first time I tried to stream it, so yeah, it was a special occasion today. Does it seem quite laggy though? Yeah, it is. But I can control it fine. I'm using a controller. It controls fine, although, yeah, my eyes are... I'm getting diarrhea in the eye by looking at this. It's like, oh man, it looks so good. Imagine how much better it will be in a couple years. And at the same time, my eyes are, please man, don't do this to me. We played at 60 frames yesterday. And yeah, I usually play at 60 frames on PC, so my eyes are cursing at me at the moment. He's just gearing up for the fight. Ha! Nice one. Nice one, Tom. That's a good one. I'm going to steal it. Although I'm not sure when I can steal that joke. When in my life I put bodies into gears to stop a machine. Probably only today, hopefully. If not, I'm going to be pretty scared. I was going to drink mate, but I think that has to wait. Ampere performance jump is even worse, in my opinion. I forgot which one was Ampere. Oh, the first... never mind. Yeah, the jump from... I think it was a good jump, but the main reason for Ampere to exist was the RTX, so it kinda makes sense. That they worked on... Instead of rasterizing performance, they worked on RTX performance, on ray tracing, instead of rasterization. Although they wanted to be first on the ray tracing race, if that makes any sense. So I kinda understand the NVIDIA approach. But at the same time, I'm saying, oh man, I wish there was more competition. But yeah, the rasterized performance improvement wasn't amazing. On Turing it was pretty interesting, but on Ampere from the previous one, I was pretty disappointed, yeah, I agree. God of War Ragnarok year 2025. Hopefully it comes to PC soon enough. Now that PlayStation got Nexus, Sony bought Nexus, I'm super pumped to see PlayStation games coming to PC. Hopefully this one day gets ported to the PC. One day. Okay, what now? Oh, there's a door. Okay, the assets were being loaded. Okay. Good. I think running this with a low resolution should make it more playable. No, it's not. It's not going to happen. Unfortunately. The things that are being shown on the screen to go away. You know, YouTube doesn't like those things that can happen when a person takes their shirt off. So, allow me a moment. I'm waiting for that footage to finish so I don't get demonetized. That's hilarious. In the meantime, I'll read the chat. Thoughts on GPU shortage? It sucks, but it happens in the entire world. It's hilarious that this game has so much nudity. But it kind of makes sense. Is the game playable from start to finish? I think so. Some people said that it was playable from start to finish, but I don't know. Exactly, Icarus the Honda 21. Exactly. Base Kratos respecting women. I mean, I'm the one respecting them. Because the monetization. Yeah, the fun stuff. I cannot show you the fun stuff, unfortunately. Sorry guys. I know everyone wants to see that, but I cannot show it. I need to protect my channel. Sí, perdón, Julián de la Cruz. No era mi intención. Okay, I think we're back. Okay, yeah, we are. Good. Te mando un saludo, Romel J29. Okay. I think we're good now. Okay, we're good. It was all an illusion. So, as you can see now, we're back into the game. So, no more things to hide. It's yoga. Yeah, it's just yoga. But as I was saying, good thing the shaders for the bodies were not loaded. That saved me. That section of the game not being loaded in the shader cache saved my ass. Oh man. So close to being demonetized. The FBI would like to know your location. No, the FBI doesn't care if it's in the correct age. So I'm fine, I'm good. Hay un error de cámara que no me deja pasar un nivel. No sabría decirte, Mario. ¿Es el principio o es el final? Santiago is hiding the 6 FPS cutscenes. Fake benchmarks confirmed. Hell yeah, man. Of course, there's no nudity in this game. I'm just hiding the frame rates. I'm just playing at 24 FPS to piss you guys off. I'm not playing at 24 FPS because CPU limited. It's just art. Yeah, hell yeah. Best art. Who doesn't like art?
You have caused me pain for the last time, Spartan.
Okay, that's another cutscene, so now we can skip it, thank god. Although, just to be sure, I'm going to keep the frame rate counter only. Okay, apparently we're good. Let's continue. Okay, I wasn't expecting to see that in a video game, but I'll take it. Is this a fight and can win? I don't think so. Oh no. It's funny because it's not loaded, so I don't know what I'm fighting. Oh, never mind. There we are. According to the game, I probably have to attack those claws over there. We're going to go for those. Antes de enfrentarte al... no sabría qué es eso, nos dicen cucarachos. Do 4K? No, 4K is going to crash because video memory. So, I apologize, but I cannot do 4K. Because video memory, which is pretty hilarious actually. But when I ran the game at 4K at the beginning, it ran the same at 720p because we were CPU limited. Ah, entiendo, Mario. Mira, a mí lo que me sirvió fue tener más FPS. Pero si no podés hacer eso se complica. Así que no sabría decirte. Probá con el otro shader cache, el que no es asynchronous. Okay, we're getting there. So do I, Mati. Man, that poor 10100F. No, that poor cooler. That poor cooler is screaming in pain in the background. And you cannot hear it because RTX voice is doing its job. Although I'll need to get some health. I think I'm almost dead. FPS are sad. I mean, this is an emulator. It's doing all that stuff on the CPU, so... I died. Okay, the clav is a strong weapon that can sometimes disarm enemies. Good to know. Can FSR be implemented to this emulator? It's not necessary. We are not limited by GPU. So changing the resolution scale won't help with FSR, which is what FSR does in general. Authentic PlayStation 3 experience. No, the PS3 at least was over 20 frames in this part, I'm pretty sure. Pretty much over 20. Okay, I'm going to avoid the enemies and just fight those claws so I don't die. But it's getting difficult because the enemies are super annoying. Get the heck out of my way, enemies. Jesus Christ. We're all going to die. It's so laggy, the game music is stuttering. That means that we're doing a good test. That means that it's actually doing some work. Oh my god, poor video card. No, poor CPU. The video card is doing nothing. The video card is at 30%. The video card doesn't care what's going on. The video card is like, I sleep. That's what the video card is doing. Okay, I screwed up. I think. I cannot see Kratos. Where is he? Oh, there he is. Now we're talking. Yeah, these enemies are just staggering Kratos so much that I cannot hit the arms. Come on, Kratos, you got this. Please don't die. And I think that the game crashed. Yeah, the game completely crashed. Okay, I think I had enough. That's enough. Yeah, an hour and a half into it. Guys, I had enough. I played too much at 15 FPS. I'm kinda getting sick. So, as you could see, it works. It works. But when you get into new sections, the game can crash randomly. So, you're going to get... Let's relaunch the game to show you that. So, I'm going to relaunch it to show you something very interesting. So, as I was saying, the game has 3 states, to say it in some way. It's not a country. Don't quote me on that. So the thing with the game is that you get multiple instances where the camera pans out and Kratos is like an ant, is very tiny. In those environments, the game runs at 15 FPS in general. Then you have sections where nothing is happening, which is, I don't know, you're staring at a wall or looking into the sky. In those moments, the game is like 60 frames. And then you get the middle sections, that is between 15 and 35 FPS. That is usually smaller levels, smaller chunks of levels. That in those places, yeah, you can play just fine. But that hasn't happened a lot. It was more of a big set piece. So in general, I'd say in this game you get more of yeah, in general it's mostly hovering around 15 FPS in the bad parts. So I wouldn't recommend it at the moment on this configuration. If you have a fast CPU, go for it, knock yourself out. Yeah, the GPU is like, what did I miss? What happened? Yeah, the GPU is doing nothing. But as you can see in this part here, this is one of the bad parts, and for some reason I loaded the level and I died. What the hell? This is one of the bad parts because it runs, well, it runs bad on the PS3 in this part. But as you can probably see, we have a lot of detail into the distance. We don't not only have this battle, we also have geometry behind us. So yeah, there's stuff happening on the screen. That's what I'm trying to say. That's when it drops in instances like this one. So as long as you have a faster CPU will be better, but it shouldn't be a huge improvement unless it's I don't know, a 5th gen, a 5000 series Ryzen CPU, like a 5600X or something like that. My voice is dying. I've been speaking an hour and a half straight. Yeah, the GPU is like, hold my FPS, I'll do my job. Yeah, and the CPU is, I'm doing my part. Yeah, just like that. You got it right. Eso es normal, cuando me crashea y lo vuelvo a abrir se muere Kratos. Eso es muy gracioso. So some people are telling me that when the game crashes for them in the emulator, they load up the level and Kratos is dead. That's pretty funny. Oh, although I think I have... Is there an angry Kratos mode or something? The Spartan Rage? Yeah, it crashes in the same place. Yeah, I'm done. I'm literally done. Okay, so the problem here, again guys, CPU. So eventually we're going to get an improvement. Again, the developers do an amazing job with the emulator. They're updating it consistently, pretty often. So, hang on, I'm going to hide something so I can show you stuff. RPCS3, there we go. So, it was fun to check it out. It's super interesting that nowadays we can do PS3 emulation. So again guys, visit the official RPCS3 webpage. You can download it there. There's a quick start guide, sorry, on how to set it up. And you can copy my configuration if you want to give it a shot. So, and you have a compatibility tab. And what's this mean? Well, this has how the games run on the emulator. So, I don't know, let's put, okay, The Last of Us, now that we're here. So you look up in their webpage, The Last of Us, and it says in-game. So let's read what that means. So in-game means games that are either can't be finished, have serious glitches, or have insufficient performance. So that means in-game. And then you have the playable games, that means games that can be completed with playable performance and no glitches. So, The Last of Us, it says in-game, that means you can launch the game but it has serious problems with either graphics or performance. And I did try it, it's in the description if you want to check it out. It runs pretty bad. But the ones that are playable, I tried a few of them. One of them is Persona 5, but look at this. God of War 1, God of War 2, and God of War Chains of Olympus and Ghost of Sparta, which are the remasters from the PS2 and PlayStation portable games, work on the emulator. They are playable, so they should run pretty good. And as you can see, God of War 3 is in-game. So God of War 3, at least for me, it was a lot better running than this one. So yeah, this is how you look it up. Let me check if Resistance 3 is playable. Probably not. Oh, Resistance 2 is playable. Interesting. And Resistance 1 as well. That's super cool. I might check out the Resistance franchise eventually. And Killzone. I wanted to try Killzone. Killzone 2 and 3. Okay, they're in-game. Yeah, this is probably the next one I'm testing, Killzone 2 or Killzone 3. So guys, if you want to see more PS3 emulation tests, I'm here. I'm going to do them eventually. Will a Ryzen 5 3600 run this game? Yeah, but it won't be a lot better. It will be a tiny bit faster than this. It won't be a huge difference, trust me. So yeah, Ratchet & Clank is in-game, but the only real issue is slowdown when below 60 FPS. Okay, that's another one I should try. Ratchet & Clank. Yeah, I forgot that was a thing. There's so many PS3 games. Tools of Destruction. Okay, cool. Okay, so that was it for today, guys. Thank you so much for being here with me. Sorry for taking so long to start the live stream. The game was crashing, so I was kind of stuck with the game not launching. So yeah, okay. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you next time with the next PS3 emulation test thing. Let me know in the comments and chat what you want to see. And again, this was pretty funny because I was playing a PS3 game on an emulator on PC using an Xbox controller, so the crossplay, and yeah, it was just massive irony, but that's fine. That's what I was trying to tell you guys about. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see ya next time. Bye guys, love you all. See you next time. Thank you. And I hope the quality is good. I'm streaming at 4K today.